Hey babes, welcome back. We have got a very sensual, very serious new moon coming in hot on April 27th, and it's happening in the sign of Taurus, which means new beginnings with staying power. New moons always invite fresh starts. They're energetic resets, they're seed planting moments that blossom either within the 2 weeks following that new moon or by the time the full moon happens, about 6 months from that new moon. But this new moon is extra ripe for a seed to blossom beautifully because it's happening in the sign of Taurus. Taurus energy is earthy, it's grounded, it's patient, it's deeply sensual. It's very fertile ground for creating something that feels not only nourishing, but also lasting and steady in true Taurus fashion. So if you're ready to call in stability, pleasure, and strength, then this is the lunation for you. By the way, my name is Montana. I am founder of astrologyforbabes.com, where we explore the stars and spirituality with a little bit of magic, a little bit of meaning, and a whole lot of fun vibes. I do offer free readings, or I'm sorry, they're not free, but I do offer readings. And if you are curious to go a little bit deeper on this topic, just check the link in the description below. But today is all about the new moon in Taurus. And so I'm going to start this video off with some general energy around this lunation that we will all be feeling. And then I'll move to a breakdown of how this new moon is activating your specific chart based on your rising sign, your sun sign, or your moon sign. So a quick tip for listening. Listen to your rising sign first, because this is really going to be your life path. It's the full picture and it's generally going to be the most accurate reading. Then you can also listen to the reading for your sun sign, which is going to reflect more so how this energy is going to show up in your identity, your goals, or even your career. And lastly, you can listen to your moon sign because this is showing how you might feel this shift, especially around home, family, emotions. And if you have a stellium in any sign, you might want to listen to the reading for that particular sign that the stellium sits in, because that means that this lunation is going to be activating whatever planets that you have bundled in the sign of Taurus. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So Venus is going to be the ruler of this new moon, and Venus is still hanging out in Pisces, where she sits exalted. That means that Venus is functioning beautifully. She's bringing a very soft, intuitive, romantic tone to this lunation. Venus is in flow, she's glowing, she's happy. Pisces and Venus and Pisces energy is dreamy. It's very creative. It's very selfless. And so during this new moon, she's going to be forming a very supportive sextile to the new moon in Taurus, and that's really going to be bringing a gentle, positive support to this lunation. So you can think of this as like doors opening, blessings that are quiet, they come in quietly, and opportunities that are going to be based around connection. But here is where this new moon in Taurus gets interesting, because Venus, the ruler of this new moon, is also conjunct Saturn and the North Node, which is going to be layering in a very karmic weight and sense of fated direction. So this could look like a commitment in love or with a business partner that feels like it's meant to be, or a deeper devotion to your aesthetic values, your self-worth, your finances, these Venusian topics. And of course, things with this new moon is not all sugary sweet and soft and Venusian, because this new moon is going to be squaring Mars in Leo, which is going to bring passion and urgency and possibly some very messy dynamics to the table. Mars always wants to cut cords. Mars wants you to make decisions, to take action, and it kind of wants you to fight for what you believe in. And when Mars is placed in the sign of Leo, it's very bold and it's very dramatic. So you may feel this push to break away or to walk away from something that's just simply not in alignment with you anymore. And because Mars is in Leo, it's not going to happen passive aggressively like it would have when it's in Cancer. It's going to happen loudly, okay? It's not going to be quiet. So in addition to this dynamic, Mars at the time of this new moon is also going to be opposing Pluto from the Aquarius area of your chart. So this Mars opposition to Pluto is very deep, it's very intense, it's transformative in true Plutonian nature, and it may bring up themes around power dynamics, control, or inner patterns that really need to die off so something more authentic can be born. Okay, this froze. My computer just froze. So I'm going to repeat that just in case it got missed. So Mars when Mars is opposing Pluto, this opposition dynamic is very deep. It's happening in the sign of Aquarius, okay? But Pluto is very deep, it's very intense, it's very transformative. And so you may notice that themes around power dynamics, control, or inner patterns come up. And these inner patterns really do need to die off so something more authentic can be born. When Pluto and Mars are in opposition, it really can feel like a standoff, okay? There's going to be tension here. You may feel like it's you versus someone else, or you versus something else, or versus you versus yourself, frankly, right? So, but the key to moving past all this is going to be awareness. So try not to react as explosively if you do find yourself in this type of confrontation, as these energies are really going to call you to do, because they're going to call you to explode. Mars and Pluto are both very strong energies. So just try to be aware of this and try to maybe dull down your response a little bit, okay? So when it comes to this new moon in Taurus, which signs are going to feel it the most? Well, if you're an earth sign, babe, like Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, this new moon is likely going to feel very aligned and natural for you. It's going to be trining either your sun, moon, or rising in these three signs, helping you bring things into place more easily. Things are just kind of going to click and it's going to feel more pleasant. So you're also going to feel this new moon in Taurus if you have any personal planets or angles at 7 degrees of Taurus. So like a Mars in Taurus at 7 degrees, for example. Or if you are a sun, moon, and rising in the fixed signs of Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and of course Taurus. So Scorpios are also going to feel this as well because it's taking place in your 7th house of relationships. This new moon is opposing you, okay? So overall, this new moon is strong, it's sensual, it's a little surprising thanks to the influence of Uranus here, which I'll talk about more in a second, and it's really going to be asking you, what are you ready to plant and to build and commit to in a very real way that can yield some lovely Venusian results that really do feel fated, okay? So let's go ahead and start with the all signs portion of this reading. Now, listen first to your rising sign, and you can also listen to your sun sign, which often does resonate as well. And then lastly, you can listen to your moon sign as well. So for our Virgo babes out there, this Taurus new moon is going to be activating your 9th house, and this is the part of your chart that rules beliefs, higher education, and long distance travel. It's happening at 7 degrees of Taurus on April 27th, and because Taurus is a fellow earth sign, this lunation is going to be trining your sun or your moon or your rising, and this new beginning is really going to feel like it's flowing naturally into your life. So you are ready for expansion, Virgos. You are ready for something different, and over the next 2 weeks, and especially by the full moon in Taurus, which is going to occur in 6 months from now, this could look like planning a long distance trip, okay? Maybe it's a dreamy vacation that really shifts your entire perspective on life. Or this could be the urge to go back to school, to dive into a new area of study, or to deepen your wisdom around something that you already love. So you can think like grad school, certification, spiritual studies, or becoming the queen of a specific subject matter at a higher level. Or maybe Virgos, you're just thinking differently, because this new moon really can speak to a whole new belief system, one that's more rooted in self-worth and trust, and one where because I am a Virgo rising, you caught me, where your inner Virgo really does get to explore and to think bigger, and maybe be a little bit less detail oriented thanks to this 9th house influence. So Venus, who is the ruler of this new moon, is sitting in Pisces in your 7th house of one-on-one relationships and clients, and it's forming a very soft, supportive sextile to this lunation. So think about just this as very gentle but still influential energy. So over the next few weeks, and again all the way to the next full moon in Taurus 6 months from now, this could look like traveling long distance with a partner, or starting school because of the influence of a relationship, or entering a new partnership, either romantic or business or even platonic, that really helps you shift the way that you see your life. Venus is also going to be conjunct Saturn and the North Node during the time of this new moon. So that's going to add in an extra dose of commitment and karmic alignment, okay? So this might not just be about romance, right? This really could be a mentor or a therapist or a teacher or anyone who's guiding you or interacting with you one-on-one, really changing your worldview in a way that's going to be really important to your actual evolution as a person and on your life path. So Uranus the planet of shaking things up and rebellion and alternative points of view and surprises, is co-present with the moon and the sun during the time of this new moon. And it's really going to be bringing in this desire to break free. So again, you might be craving space. You might be craving adventure and a total change in your perspective. It's really giving like a restless romantic or like rebellious student, or like you might feel like you need out of this routine before you lose your mind, okay? So really, this could be the moment that you choose a new path because of a relationship. And if you are single, you really could meet somebody while traveling or while studying or while stepping into this new version of yourself, okay? Lastly, y'all, we cannot ignore this Mars-Pluto opposition that I mentioned is going to be squaring this new moon. And for Virgos, this means Mars is going to be in your 12th house of the subconscious, and Pluto is going to be in your 6th house of work, your daily work, your routine, and wellness. So what is this tension here that oppositions bring? Well, it could be that you are wanting to expand in the 9th house way, you want to go, but your daily life, your wellness, or your own inner patterns with your routine might be holding you back in some way. So this could show up as just like a chaotic routine that doesn't leave much room for this like higher ideals that you're trying to reach. Or you have health concerns slowing you down. Maybe you're just feeling run down or sick, or you have a flare up here and it's not letting you take these trips that you're wanting to take. Or this even could be more self-conscious sabotage coming from the 12th house. So this could be limiting beliefs, or this could be like this cycle of burnout with work that you're dealing with. Or maybe this is just like this voice in your head that's saying you are not ready for this, you can't do this yet. So Mars in the 12th house is asking, what do I need to let go of, sever, either spiritually or emotionally, so that I can move forward fully? That's what Mars is asking you in the 12th house. And Pluto in the 6th house is asking you, what needs to be transformed in my daily life to make space for this person that you really are wanting to become? So what I'll say in summary for this new moon for you, Virgo, is that this new moon is offering you a fresh path, one that really expands your worldview and shifts your mindset and connects you to something more meaningful. But you have got to clear space, whether it's in your daily schedule or if it's in the way that you think about yourself and you relate to yourself in your mind and in your subconscious. You have to make room for this, okay? So good luck, Virgo. This next chapter really wants you to believe in something bigger, for you to expand, and I am excited for you and for me. Okay, Capricorns, Sun, Moon, and Rising. My Capricorn babes, this Taurus new moon on April 27th is lighting up your 5th house, also known as the house of romance and creativity and children and entrepreneurial energy. And this new moon is happening at 7 degrees of Taurus, which means it will be trining your sun, moon, or rising Capricorn. So this is going to be a smoother new moon for you. You're both earth signs here. And you're going to feel very aligned and very activated in a positive way by this new moon. So over the next 2 weeks, and especially by the time that we're seeing this full moon in Taurus happening about 6 months from now, this is really a gorgeous time to reconnect with your heart. Okay, this could be a new romantic love story. This could be a passion project or like a new hobby that's really filling you with joy. This could be deepening the connection with your kids if you have any. Or for some of you, it's really going to be taking a very bold step into the world of entrepreneurship or starting your own business. So if you are single and you're having a new romance begin now, and even with your current romances, honestly, this might come with a bit of a Uranian twist, because Uranus, the planet of rebellion and shocks and surprises and breaking free, is sitting right alongside the sun and the moon during the time of this new moon. So think like long distance, or someone who's totally different from your usual type, or a connection that really just defies your traditional set of rules but feels so good, right? So you're really going to want to embrace it, because this is the type of story that's going to shake things loose in the best of ways, okay? And if you're already partnered, this lunation can help you fall deeper in love with your partner. So that means more dates, more joy, more chemistry. It's like getting dressed up and like flirting like it's the first time all over again. So it's just really pleasant energy. But beyond romance, this is also energy that's ripe for starting a new business. So you could also just be showing up more creatively or giving yourself permission to have fun again, because Capricorns, you work hard. You deserve to enjoy whatever it is that you're wanting to build. So Venus, the ruler of this new moon, is going to be sitting in the sign of Pisces, which for you Capricorns is your third house of communication and your neighborhood. So she's forming a very loose but lovely sextile to this new moon, bringing in a softness and a flow to whatever it is that you're wanting to say or plan or put into motion in this fifth house of yours. Excuse me. So this could look like moving neighborhoods, okay, to be closer to someone that you love, or starting to talk more, think more, communicate more about your creative work or this entrepreneurial business idea that you have, or maybe even you're launching an entrepreneurship project or a business that's centered around Venusian things like beauty, women, or finances, money in some way. Venus is also really just nicely tucked away with Saturn and the North Node. It's basically conjunct here. So there's this karmic pull that's going along with this Venusian energy. So this might be a very fated commitment. Okay, so that's North Node and Saturn, fated commitment, which is really deepening the relationship, or maybe it's a business taking shape and becoming real, or there's a dream that you have that's demanding that you add structure to it. So it's really just like this beautiful divine timing meeting the practicality that Saturn demands. But Saturn, as we know, brings lasting success. So this is just really positive energy here. But okay, it's not all just sunshine and rainbows, because there is a little heat with this new moon in Taurus. As I mentioned, it is squaring a Mars-Pluto opposition, which is really going to be activating your financial axis. So Mars in Leo is going to be heating up your 8th house of shared resources, debt, intimacy, and like emotional vulnerability, Capricorns. And so Pluto in Aquarius is going to be sitting in your 2nd house of income, self-worth, and values. So what is this tension here between Pluto and Mars? Well, you might want to spend more time having fun and dating and investing in your creative life. That's 5th house. But this money situation, this debt, or this deeper fear around control and vulnerability is saying, not so fast, right? So this could look like wanting to merge your finances or just fully let love in with your romantic partner, but struggling to let go of this control. Maybe this is like a new thing for you. Or you might be feeling towards that creative freedom of the 5th house, or 5th house is down here, but you could be feeling weighed down by a big bill, this financial pull here. So Mars in the 8th might be pushing you to tackle something hard, debt, taxes, emotional baggage, so you can free yourself up for pleasure and joy and self-expression. And this new moon, it really is trying to usher in this romance and fun and maybe even a whole new creative identity, but you have to clear the way first, okay? So prioritize, Capricorns, what lights you up. Prioritize love and play and creative freedom and maybe even a little bit of luxury, okay? But just don't ignore that deeper work that has to be done around value, around financial value, self-worth value, and vulnerability. So good luck, Capricorn. This world is just ready to fall a little bit more in love with you, and you are ready to fall a little bit more in love with this world. Taurus, this is your new moon message, okay? You are the stars of this new moon. It is your time. It's happening right in your sign at 7 degrees of Taurus, which means that this new moon is going to be unfolding for you, Taurus, in your 1st house of self, identity, and appearance. So yes, this is a very major new moon for you. And because this new moon is landing in your 1st house, it really is a full-on energetic reset, and it can touch any part of your life because it literally is about you, Taurus. So this could look like a physical glow up, right? Like fresh haircut, shift in your style, or even like a very radical rebrand of your entire vibe, right? Especially with Uranus, the planet of freedom and surprises and radical shifts, sitting next to the sun and the moon during the time of this lunation. So as you know, Taurus, Uranus has been traveling through your 1st house since like 2018, right? And it's really been shaking up how you see yourself. And soon, within the next few months, it is finally moving out of your sign. So if you haven't had this like main character transformation yet that you are destined to have, this might be the moment that is really activating that for you. But again, this new moon could also be going deeper than these surface things. This might be a brand new identity that you are stepping into. This could be a new story that you're about to tell about who you are and what you're here on this earth to do. So you really might be feeling like you're stepping into this new you, and you are more you than you've ever been before, Taurus. So Venus, your planetary ruler and the ruler of this new moon, is still sitting in Pisces, okay? Lighting up your 11th house of friends and community and long-term goals. And she is in a very soft sextile to this new moon, so it's going to be bringing in very sweet support and a nice, pleasant, divine alignment. So this could look like stepping into a new friend group that reflects the new you, or a new community that really reflects this new you, Taurus. It could mean becoming more visible online, because the 11th house is online networks, and building an online network that really does align with your values. This could be joining a collective or an organization, or starting this organization that just feels like very aligned with who you are as a person and your identity. Or this could be finally moving into this closer and closer to this long-term dream a lot of you Taurus have had, that you've been holding into your heart for a long time. And with Venus conjunct Saturn and the North Node, this is also feeling very destined for you Taurus. So you might be feeling called to commit more deeply to your people, your person, your purpose, your vision during the time of this new moon. Contracts could be signed, partnerships could really solidify, and what you build now can really have lasting longevity, especially if this dream of yours involves art or beauty or design or women or money or anything that's Venusian. This is like a very gorgeous window to really get real about whatever it is that you're wanting to create, Taurus. Okay, but now let's talk about the Mars-Pluto opposition that is squaring this otherwise lovely new moon, because this energy is a little bit spicy, okay? So Mars in Leo is going to be activating your 4th house of home, family, and emotional roots, while Pluto, who is sitting in Aquarius, is going to be activating your 10th house of career, reputation, and public life. And all of this together is really putting pressure on your identity. So this could look like you really wanting to step into this new version of yourself. But is there someone at work who is undermining you? Is your home life feeling a little unstable right now or tense? Are there unresolved family dynamics that are draining your energy? Or are there some childhood surface wounds trying to resurface as you are trying to level up, Taurus? So you can answer these questions, right? There may be a power struggle between who you want to be and who your environment is trying to demand you to be. Mars is saying, cut what's no longer serving you in your home life with regards to any childhood dynamics there or anything going on in the home. And Pluto is saying, transform your power dynamics so that you can stand fully in your truth. So there is a tension that's going to have to be resolved between these two areas of your life before you feel like you can really truly step into this new moon magic. So again, for you, Taurus, this is the beginning of a more powerful, more radiant, more surprising, more authentic version of you. But first, you really may need to release some patterns around people or some pressure that is trying to really dim that light of yours. So step into that identity, Taurus, and I'm excited for you. You are becoming an undeniable, very fun version of yourself. Good luck, Taurus. We're going to do Scorpio next. I didn't mention this, y'all, but I'm actually doing earth signs, water signs, air signs, and then fire signs, if you didn't know. Now you know, surprise. Okay, so Scorpio, babes who are Scorpios, this Taurus new moon is bringing in some major energy to your 7th house of one-on-one relationships, clients, and committed connection. So whether you are looking for love, or you're deepening a partnership, or you're rethinking in general who you want to give your energy to, this is a reset moment, okay? Because Taurus is an earth sign and you are a water sign, and this new moon is going to be forming a very soft sextile to your chart, making this transition feel nice, okay? Like the universe is handing you a nice opening, but you still have to decide how deep you're willing to go with this opening that you are being presented with. So over the next 2 weeks, Scorpio, and especially by the full moon in Taurus that's going to be happening in 6 months from now, this lunation really could mark the start of a new relationship, or a big moment in the relationship that you're currently in if you're not single. Or this could be a shift in how you are wanting to show up to your business or your close one-on-one platonic relationships. And with Uranus, the planet of freedom and surprise and breaking all the rules, sitting close to the sun and the moon during the time of this lunation, don't be surprised if this new beginning doesn't feel exactly like what you expected, okay? So this could look like a connection with someone who's very different from you. This could be a long-term love or like a long-term relationship being ushered in or that you're moving into, or a relationship that in true Uranian fashion comes out of nowhere, right? But feels so fated that you can't ignore it. Or this could even be like a major spontaneous shift in your business partners or your client dynamics. So if you work one-on-one with people, you really could kind of see new clients busting in out of the blue, or your role with your clients shifting in a way that feels very exciting and more deeply personal to you, okay? So Venus, who's the ruler of this new moon in Taurus, is glowing, is shining in Pisces, and is lighting up your fifth house of romance, creativity, self-expression, children, entrepreneurship. So she is sending a very sweet sextile to this new moon in your seventh, which could make this lunation feel like pleasant and just very tender, right? It's pleasant. So this could really look like going from the talking stages to official stages with somebody that you're dating. This could look like getting engaged or recommitting to your current love. This could feel like being more playful and romantic and open-hearted than frankly you've been in a little while. Or you could be starting a business, right, that's centered around women or finances, or that brings in new clients or collaborations in some way that actually could make you more money. For some, there is a pregnancy or child-related development here that's going to really transform your relationship dynamic. And with Saturn and the North Node also sitting conjunct to Venus, it's really like a fated commitment that's happening here. Things are getting very real. The love, the partnerships, the business, whatever is forming now really has the potential to last, especially if it's rooted in something soulful, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the tension that's sitting underneath this new moon that you're not going to be able to ignore. This new moon is being squared by Pluto and Mars in an opposition, which for you is activating your 10th house of career and your public life and your 4th house of home, family, and foundation. So you're going to be feeling pressure from both of these sides. So maybe your work life is intense, 10th house here, and your personal life is demanding more attention, and they're competing for who is going to get your attention during the time of this new moon. Or maybe you are moving, right? You're changing your home environment. You're dealing with family dynamics that really feel emotionally charged. Or your career could really be shifting and you're having to make these really hard calls about what is worth your energy. Mars in the 10th, it could bring drama, it could bring urgency and a desire to cut ties in your professional life, especially if you're feeling like something is no longer aligning. Meanwhile, Pluto in the 4th, it can be unearthing some deeper emotional patterns, some family wounds, some childhood stories that are just inconveniently resurfacing as you're trying to step into this new territory. Either way, this 10th house and 4th house tension needs to be resolved so that you can be in a better position to experience this new beginning in your one-on-one relationships that this new moon in Taurus is ushering in. So I want to say good luck to y'all, Scorpio. I believe in you. This is going to be a lovely start, fresh start to your one-on-one relationship. So good luck here. Pisces. Pisces, Pisces, Pisces. Pisces, this new moon in Taurus is lighting up your 3rd house of communication, local environment, siblings, and daily mindset. So the vibe here is fresh. Fresh thoughts, fresh neighborhood, maybe a neighborhood move, moments with your siblings, potentially receiving interesting pieces of news. And because Taurus is earth and you are water Pisces, this new moon is flowing in a very nice sextile to your chart. It's grounded, it's fertile, it's supportive, and especially as you're rising into this new version of yourself that you know you've been doing over the past month or so due to all that Pisces energy, all those planets who have been in your Pisces house. So for you, Pisces, this could look like starting a new website or a platform, right? This could be refreshing your voice and how you want to show up on social media because social media is that 3rd house. This could be having an important conversation that opens up new doors for you. Or this could be something that's more learning focused, so diving into a new topic of study that really shifts your day-to-day life. Or this could even be a move. A lot of you Pisces are going to be moving within the next 6 months too, right? This is like new neighborhood energy, especially with Uranus, who really represents things that are rebellious, sudden shifts, change, shocking, alternative mindsets, the urge to break free. Being co-present with the moon and the sun, you really could receive some unexpected news, Pisces, especially from a sibling, which is very 3rd housey, or through like a text message or a phone call. That shifts everything for you. That surprises you, okay? So Venus, the ruler of this new moon in Pisces, Venus, the ruler of this new moon in Taurus, is sitting with you, Pisces. It's been glowing you up in your 1st house of self, identity, and appearance for a little while now. You know, we just had the Mercury and Venus retrograde in your sign. Things are moving direct now, and Venus is still sitting in that 1st house, right? So that's huge for you. You've been going through a lot lately, Pisces, right? All those planets doing retrograde motion in your chart. you've had Saturn there, the North Node, right? So you've been in deep reflection mode, and you've been reassessing, Pisces, your values, your vibe, who it is that you want to become, who it is that you're becoming, right? And now you probably have this sense that you are emerging, right? So this new moon really might spark a message that you want to share with the world. It could be new friendships and or new digital spaces that really mirror this evolution that you are going through. Or this could be a long awaited neighborhood move that you've been thinking about for a long time that finally reflects this life that you are ready for, Pisces. So additionally, with Venus conjunct Saturn in the North Node here, this means that destiny is mixing with structure. So you are really committing to this new version of you. There may be contracts being signed. There may be decisions being made and alignments forming that are really going to carry you forward with not only this destined intention, but maturity as well, because Saturn is the taskmaster. Saturn is Mr. Mature. Saturn is really bringing this sense of discipline into your life and forcing you to become a more disciplined version of yourself. I know the Pisces know what I'm talking about. Okay, but now for that tension that I mentioned during the intro. So Mars is sitting in your 6th house of daily work and routine and structure, and Pluto across the chart over there is sitting in your 12th house of the subconscious, your shadow work, behind the scenes energy. And together, Pluto and Mars are forming a square to this new moon. It's in opposition here, and it's really creating pressure that is demanding your attention. So this could show up for you, Pisces, as workplace drama, gossip, burnout even, or a desire to change your health and habits. But there's these internal blockages that are coming from your subconscious that are slowing you down here. Or this could be some deep emotional patterns or trauma rising up while you're trying to move forward, which is very inconvenient. Or maybe it's even this job that you know you're done with, right? But you haven't let go of. So Mars is asking you to cut what is draining your energy in this 6th house. And Pluto is asking you to transform your inner world so that your outer life can evolve too. So there may be secrets that are revealed, again, through a message, which is very 3rd housey, or something that you overhear that you weren't supposed to overhear. So pay attention to it, but try not to react in an explosive way, as Mars and Pluto often want you to, because this is all going to be clearing up space so that you can communicate better and get into your 3rd house vibes a little bit more strongly, Pisces. So good luck. I'm excited to hear how this turns out for you. Leave me a comment, come back later on after this new moon, and let me know how this has all turned out for you. Moving on to Cancer. Cancer, this new moon is lighting up your 11th house of community, Cancer, of friendships and long-term goals as well. So because Taurus is an earth sign and you are a water sign, this new moon is forming a very gentle sextile to your sun or your moon or your rising, whatever there is in Cancer, which means that this energy is flowing nicely. It's safe, it's supportive, and we love it. So over the next 2 weeks, and especially by the next full moon in Taurus, which is going to be happening 6 months from now, this is a new beginning in your social life, in your communities, in your groups of friends or organizations, or your long-term hopes and dreams, okay? So maybe you're going to be joining a new community or starting a new community or joining a new friend group. Maybe you're planting this seed for a long-term dream, one that really could begin to blossom in these very noticeable ways by the time we hit the next Taurus full moon 6 months from now. Or maybe you're finally allowing yourself to believe that you deserve that dream, that hope, that future that you have been quietly hoping for, for a long time. Venus, the ruler of this new moon, is flowing through Pisces as you lighting up your 9th house of education and travel and spiritual beliefs. She is in harmony, flowing love in a very nice sextile to this lunation, adding a very nice magic and softness and this lovely divine sense of direction to this new moon. I'm sorry, y'all. When you've been talking for a few hours straight, which is how long it takes to record these, your words get very jumbled up sometimes. So you'll have to forgive me with that one. But this could look like finding new friends or community through a spiritual class that you're taking, or a new spiritual practice, or just a class in general. This could be traveling, especially with groups of women, for a cause that really matters deeply to you. Or this could be committing to something educational that really shifts your worldview. Just changing how you see the world could happen, or changing how you see yourself, just enough so that your dreams and your long-term goals feel more possible. So some Cancers may be heading into a retreat or signing up for something that expands your perspective and really deepens your sense of purpose. This could potentially involve art or design or something feminine or just something around love, very Venusian topics, right? And with Venus conjunct Saturn in the North Node, this is going to be an important commitment that you're making, right? So you may be saying yes to something that changes your future in a very real and very grounded and very committed way, right? Because that's that Saturnian influence. So there is a financial undercurrent that's happening here, and I want to talk about it. So this new moon is squaring a Mars and Pluto opposition, which is going to be activating your second house of income and self-worth and your eighth house of shared financial resources and deeper transformation. So there's going to be tension here around money and value and what you're willing to invest, both emotionally and materially, to make your dreams real, right? So this could be wanting to join a group or wanting to start anew, but finances are tight, so you just don't have the financial resources to devote to that right now. Or this could be needing to cut an expense or leave a job in order to free up that energy. This also could be facing your fears around merging your resources with others or trusting others with your security in that deeper way, or like even this could just be like straight up feeling pressure from debt or taxes or financial obligations. Mars in your second house of finances wants action. Mars in your eighth house of really just like loans and debts and mortgages, but also just like these deeper insights in life and transformation wants you to face the truth, right? So you really might be asked to take a closer look at your relationship with money and power and control in order for you to really create something that feels more sustainable. So this new moon is more about your friends and your goals and your organizations. It's also about believing in your future enough in order for you to start building it. So good luck, Cancer. Your people, your community, your purpose, everyone is waiting for you to step into this power. I'm going to get some water before I start with Gemini. Are we on Gemini? Yes, we are. Okay, for my Gemini babes, this new moon in Taurus is happening in your 12th house of the subconscious, soul, healing, and solitude, which means this new moon is quiet, but still powerful. Okay, so it's not a flashy new beginning. It's one of those softer internal shifts that changes everything from the inside out. And you're going to feel this new moon most when you're able to slow down, unplug, and listen to what your spirit has been trying to tell you. So this new moon is a perfect time to start a meditation practice, deepen your connection to spirituality through tarot or astrology or energy healing or whatever that means to you, or to begin a private spiritual journey to create space for more rest and reflection, or even to let go of a vice or a pattern or something that's been keeping you from your inner peace. And with Uranus sitting right next to the sun and moon, this awakening might come through a surprise or a disruption or maybe a vivid dream, a moment of divine inspiration. And this is really going to shake up things as far as how you've been doing life behind the scenes. And if your dream world has been extra active lately, definitely do pay attention because messages could be coming through. Venus is going to be the ruler of this new moon, and she is going to be flowing through Pisces, okay, sitting nicely in Pisces, lighting up your 10th house of career, public image, and social reputation. So she's forming a gentle sextile to this new moon, and that's really going to create a nice and easy connection between your spiritual self and your public path. So over the next 2 weeks, but also especially by the next full moon in Taurus, which is going to happen 6 months from now, you may find that a career shift is going to be inspiring you to create more space for solitude or for spiritual study, or that you've deepened a relationship and that could be motivating you to release that old vice or that old pattern that you've been holding on to, or there could be like some sort of public moment that's pushing you towards more alignment and more inner peace. And with Venus conjunct Saturn and the North Node during the time of this new moon, this isn't just a passing thing that happens to you. This feels very faded, right? So this could be a job offer or a public role that really shifts your life's direction, or a moment of clarity where you are going to be choosing you over this burnout, okay? But either way, This is calling you to build a legacy that feels both sustainable and soulful at the same time. So this new moon is also being squared through by a Mars-Pluto opposition, and this is going to be activating your third house of communication, of siblings, and I'll say, I'll just say communication and siblings. Okay. And it's also going to be activating your ninth house of beliefs and expansion and long distance travel. So you might be feeling very pulled between needing to retreat versus pressure to be on or to keep up, or you could have this desire for spiritual clarity versus this conflicting information or this message that is throwing you off, or you could have an email or a conversation or a bit of news that feels very disruptive, or maybe it brings up these bigger questions. Mars wants action, Pluto wants transformation, and together they are adding this tension and pushing you to release any distractions or false beliefs so you can really hear yourself again, okay? So this new moon is going to act like a gentle turning point for you, Geminis, and it's asking, what if your next chapter starts with intention and softness and stillness? And there is a version of you that's wiser and more tuned in, and this lunar cycle is helping you meet them again, okay? So good luck, Gemini. Definitely turn down the volume on life and on the world and like listen to your inner self a bit more. Libras, for my Libra, this new moon in Taurus is happening in your 8th house of shared resources, of intimacy, of power, of transformation, which means things are about to get a whole lot deeper for you, Libras. So this is the kind of new beginning that happens beneath the surface, okay? So this could be a deepening of a romantic or even a financial partnership because there's that shared resources aspect. This could be a big money moment, a big financial moment, like a loan or an investment or an inheritance coming through. Or this could be a renewed curiosity about the mystical, the magical, the taboo, like astrology, tarot, tantra. So this house, the 8th house, also rules energy exchanges. So whether you're merging finances with a partner or you're building a business together or just simply sharing more of yourself with someone, this new moon is asking you to think more about trust and connection and power dynamics. Okay, Libras. So Venus, the ruler of you and the ruler of this new moon, is floating gently through Pisces, lighting up your 6th house of work and health and daily routine. So she'll be forming a very soft sextile to this new moon, and this is going to be creating a bridge between deep intimacy and work that you are doing in your everyday structure. So over the next 2 weeks, and especially by the next full moon in Taurus, which will be happening 6 months from now, you may find yourself starting a new job or a new gig that helps you pay off a debt or helps you secure a loan. You may be making room in your everyday schedule for healing or for ritual or for a new spiritual obsession, okay? And with Venus conjunct Saturn in the North Node during the time of this new moon, this isn't just like a little light, fanciful energy. There's like a serious weight and commitment around here, right? So these routines, your relationships, and the work that you are committing to right now, they are going to be part of your bigger destiny and are going to help you move on a path that is more aligned with where you are actually wanting to go and destined to go in this lifetime. But there is a little heat with this new moon as well, thanks to a Mars-Pluto opposition that is going to be squaring this new moon. So this is going to be creating tension between your 11th house of friends and networks and long-term dreams and your 5th house of romance and pleasure and creative expression. So you might be feeling pressure from a lover, that's that 5th house energy, that's conflicting with your community, that's that 11th house energy, or maybe a new entrepreneurial venture, 5th house, is causing you to have to give up on a former dream of yours. That's that 11th house. Or are your kids demanding more time for you that you need to find some place to find that extra time from? Or maybe there's just overall a push to let go of one dream so that another dream can grow larger. Mars is asking you from your 11th house, what needs to be cut? What needs to be restructured in your social life? And Pluto wants you to claim your creative power back, and you're putting pressure on and this pressure is being applied to you from your 5th house. So the key here with this tension, this conflict from the 11th and the 5th house axis is to not ignore the tension and to go ahead and face it and move through it here and face that truth, okay? And so overall, Libras, this new moon in Taurus is inviting you to go deeper, okay? Deeper into your partnerships, deeper into your worth, deeper into your financials, and deeper into the rituals and the relationships that truly do sustain you. Something is shifting beneath the surface, Libras, and it's about to bloom. Good luck, because that soul level merging and intimacy feels like it's on the way for you. Aquarius. Aquarius babes, so this new moon in Taurus is activating your fourth house of home, family, and emotional roots. So it's very soulful new beginning, and it's coming to your most sacred private spaces. But this new moon is more than just being about your physical space in the home that you live in, okay? This also can be about your sense of belonging, your foundation, and your lineage. And for some of you, Aquarius, this actually might look like you moving homes, okay? Especially in an unexpected way, or to a home that's far away. You could be redefining your relationship with your family or with your caretakers, Aquarius, or potentially creating space for a new addition in your household for some of you. And for others, you were just kind of rethinking what home looks like for you, okay? And it could look totally different for you now, Aquarius, than it did like 2 years ago. And with Uranus sitting right beside the sun and the moon of the time of this new moon in Taurus, you can expect that this shift might feel a little bit unpredictable, right? A little bit Uranian, but it could end up being exactly what you need to feel more free and more safe. Venus, the ruler of this new moon, is floating through Pisces, nicely lighting up your second house of income and self-worth and possessions during the time of this new moon. So she's going to be gently sextiling this moon and supporting this growth with softness and maybe some financial resources and maybe a little glow up in some way. So over the next 2 weeks, and especially over the next 6 months, when we see this new moon in Taurus become a full moon in Taurus, some of you, Aquarius, might find yourself making more money, potentially through a job that might involve creativity or women or design or finances, some Venusian topic. Or you could be selling some items that really hold emotional weight for you. Maybe it's childhood things. Maybe it's just something symbolic in your possessions. Or you could also be investing in your space, maybe beautifying your home or creating a cozy environment to host friends and create something sacred in your home. Venus, at the time of this new moon, is also going to be conjunct Saturn and the North Node. So this isn't a very casual energy. You are building something real and something that supports your future. So this might require a little bit of budgeting or a little bit of boundaries or even a contract, but it's going to be worth it because it's aligned with your evolution. Okay, Aquarius. So I also want to chat with you about a tension point that's going to be very present around the time of this new moon. So this new moon is being squared by a Mars-Pluto opposition. And for you, this opposition is lighting up your 7th house of one-on-one relationships and your 1st house of identity and self-expression, which is where Pluto is sitting, okay? So Aquarius, you might be feeling pulled between who you are becoming versus what a partner wants, sitting in your 7th house. Okay, that's Mars. Or there's a relationship dynamic, either with a romantic partner, a business partner, or a close friend that's possibly experiencing a lot of conflict or might be unraveling, right? Or there's this conflict between your personal needs, these 1st house needs, or a partner's opinion, right, on your family or your home or your next move. So Mars wants to cut through the noise. Okay, Pluto wants to transform the power dynamic. So you have to ask yourself, what is it that you are holding on to? What is it that you're protecting? What version of yourself are you protecting? And what is it that you are willing to release in order for you to grow? So this could mean letting go of a long-standing relationship or choosing yourself over people pleasing. It could also mean redefining what home looks like with someone else, but on your own terms, okay? So this new moon is really asking you to come home to yourself. It's asking you to build something rooted, something sacred, something secure, even if it means shaking things up to get there. So whether you are physically moving or just spiritually rooting or going through an emotional recalibration, this is your cue to make space for a version of a home that truly honors your growth, okay? So good luck, Aquarius. You are creating a sacred sanctuary, and it's going to feel very truthful and very authentic to you. Leo. My Leo babes, this new moon in Taurus is lighting up your 10th house of career, your reputation, and your public life. And she is really bringing in a serious upgrade moment, okay? So Taurus is going to be squaring your sun, moon, or rising Leo. So this energy may feel a little bit bumpy at first, but that's only because you're being pushed into your power. You're being asked to level up in a way that's visible, that's tangible, and maybe even a little bit uncomfortable, but I promise it'll be so worth it. So over the next 2 weeks, and even more so over the next 6 months, when this new moon in Taurus becomes a full moon in Taurus, you could be starting a new job or taking on a bigger leadership role. You could be stepping into the spotlight in some way. This could be like actually, or it could be online. Or you could be experiencing a status change, okay? Going from single to partnered or engaged to married, or simply feeling seen in a new way. And with Uranus co-present with the sun and the moon, this career shift or this shift in status might come with some surprises, right? So if this is a job, it could be a tech job. This job could be related to an online platform. This could be an unexpected pivot. Or you just could be being known now as a more adventurous person in the social sphere. But overall, this is really meant to shake things up in a way that feels right for you, okay? So Venus, the ruler of this the ruler of this new moon, not full moon, is sitting in Pisces in your 6th house of work, of wellness, of daily routines, of your everyday habits, okay? So she's going to be offering a nice, supportive, little soft assistance here to this big leap that you were taking. And it's going to be reminding you that how you work in this day-to-day is just as important as what you do in that grand 10th house scheme of things, okay? So this might look like, again, a new job that somehow feels more feminine or more creative or more luxurious or is just more financially lucrative with that Venusian influence. Or this could be shifting your routine a bit in a way so that you're able to step into this 10th house new moon more successfully. Or this could even be meeting, like on a romantic front, meeting someone, finding love through your work, finding a romantic connection through your job, or just maybe in general creating these daily rituals in your day-to-day routines that really help you nourish your ambition in this 10th house and helps you step into that role a bit more easily. At the same time, Venus is also conjunct Saturn in the North Node. So this shift is really going to feel karmic and it's going to have purpose, and it's really not just a new job, okay? This is a fated opportunity to show up differently in your day-to-day work and in your routine, and this is really like something legacy with the weight of legacy taking shape, which we love. Okay, but also there's some more drama going on here. So the new moon in Taurus is also squaring a Mars-Pluto opposition, and it's really affecting your 1st house of identity and your 7th house of relationships. So really, while your career is leveling up, Leo, your relationships might be feeling the strain, okay? So this could look like tension between your public path and your partner's expectations, okay? Because that's that 7th house of relationships. It could be feeling like there is some force, and it might be, again, your romantic partner, but it could be a business person or a friend who's trying to exert control over this new version of yourself that you're trying to become. Or again, it could be a dramatic moment, a fight between you and a partner that is going to force some sort of clarity. Mars is in your sign of Leo, which means you are Mars right now. You are bold, you are decisive, you are passionate, and you are really ready to cut and sever things that no longer serve and things that no longer align. And Mars is really asking you to face these power dynamics honestly. Pluto is really asking you to face these power dynamics honestly, especially in love, right? Especially in your close partnerships and even in your business connections. Okay, so this new moon is really a defining moment for you, Leo. You're stepping into a new level of visibility, a new level of leadership, and a new level of self-definition. And it's okay if a couple people have to be cut and they're not able to come with you on this journey. So I want you, Leos, to honor your ambition, trust your direction, and remember, you are Leos. You don't need to dim your light for anyone. So good luck, Leo. The world is watching, and we are all waiting to see what you are going to become. Sagittarius babes in the house. This new moon is activating your sixth house of wellness, your daily routines, and your work life. And she is very gently asking you, what needs to shift here in your daily habits to actually support the life that you are trying to manifest? Okay, so this could be a new job. This could be a total schedule or a total routine reset. This could be a desire to start getting healthy, start getting fit again, and pour this love back into your body through your wellness rituals. Or this could be a wake up call that your day to day job just isn't working anymore, right? And so, with Uranus sitting right next to the sun and the moon during the time of this lunation, this shift might come in an unexpected way. It could be an opportunity that kind of just pops in really quickly, or it could be a surprising change at work, or just a sudden download that says, it's time to do life differently. So your day-to-day rhythms are changing, Sagittarius, and not because you should do this, but because your soul is really wanting freedom and wanting to break free. Venus, the ruler of this new moon, is sitting in Pisces, and this is going to be lighting up your fourth house of home, family, and emotional roots, Sagittarius. Okay, so she's sending a nice little sweet intuitive sextile to this new moon, which is kind of softening this transformation with some nice support. So what this could look like is a move that brings more financial peace or more financial freedom for you. This could be a new living arrangement in your home that aligns with your evolving lifestyle a little bit more. This could be a feminine figure, whether it's a roommate or a family member or a mother or a daughter who's going to be in your home supporting you in your next chapter. Or this could be just an invitation and a desire to make your home more Venusian in nature, more sacred, a better space for reflection where you can dive into your hobbies a little bit more. Or even like in this Venusian way, you could even turn the home into a place where you make money. Okay. And Venus is also conjunct Saturn and the North Node. So this is going to feel like a very fated moment thanks to that North Node influence. If you have been feeling pressure or limitations or heaviness around your home life lately, which I know has been the case with Saturn sitting there, just know that these shifts are setting the foundation for something lasting. So you are really being rerouted into your true path, into this new version of you. And this new version of you kind of likes that structure, as long as it feels like freedom to you, okay? And let's see. Okay, let's talk about the Mars-Pluto opposition, right? There's a pressure point here with this new moon because this new moon is squaring off with your third house of communication and neighborhood and your ninth house of beliefs in travel and higher education. Okay, so there's this tension that's going to be brewing there during the time of this new moon that's all about what you believe versus what someone else is saying, potentially, like your beliefs versus like a message that's coming in from that third house, or a vision you have for your future that's very ninth housey, your ideals, versus something local obligation in your neighborhood or something with your home. Or this could be a bold new path like higher education, going back to school, traveling, moving, that really requires you to speak your truth from that third house, even if it causes arguments or some sort of fight, right? So Mars is pushing for action and Pluto is digging up these control issues or these power struggles that really need to be dealt with. It's this ninth house, third house axis here. So you are being called to have an important conversation, and this conversation is going to feel difficult, but it's going to help set you free. So again, this new moon really is a revolution with your everyday life, right? It's time to build a rhythm that matches that expansion that you're trying to have, because the world really does want you to have more wisdom and more movement and more magic, but you have to create the container for it first in your daily life in order for it to take shape. So good luck, Sagittarius. Your glow up is going to start with structure, but this time it's really going to be on your own terms. So I'm excited for you. And Aries, last but not least, Aries. So this new moon is lighting up Taurus, your second house of income, your self-worth, and what it is that you truly value. And it's really just setting a tone for a new financial beginning for my Aries. So this could be a new stream of income. This could be a rebrand of your personal value system, Aries. Or this could be a major shift in how you approach your work, your money, and your own self-indulgence, really, Aries. And with Uranus sitting right next to the sun and the moon during the time of this lunation, this opportunity could come in a very fast or unexpected way. So maybe it's like something in the digital world or something unconventional, something that really pushes you outside of the old grind, and it forces you to explore new ways of making money. So yeah, you're going to be making money your way. And because of that Uranian shift, again, it just might feel like very authentic and very aligned with your truth. And I also feel like you're going to be no longer settling for less than your worth. You are finding your value, okay, Aries? Venus, the ruler of this new moon, is in Pisces in your 12th house of the subconscious. So it's really kind of like softening your edges right now and asking you to slow down, and it's asking you to tune in and to trust this quiet. So this could have looked like for you, Aries, like taking on a more creative or more spiritual role that helps usher in new income for you. This could be releasing a vice or a habit or a self-sabotaging, limiting belief that's really been draining you of your power. Or you could just be simply finding more pleasure in your solitude, in your introspection, and doing that unseen work that happens behind the scenes but is so important for you, Aries. And with Venus conjunct Saturn and the North Node at the time of this lunation, this isn't just about like manifesting money for you. This is creating an important fated connection of self-trust, right? And this could be a really important chapter where you are releasing this old baggage and getting serious about your healing and building something beautiful from your own imagination that's lasting, right? Self-worth isn't just about what you do, as you know, it's about who you believe you are and what it is that you believe you deserve. And this new moon is asking you, Aries, to believe bigger. Okay, now let's talk about that tension that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. So this new moon is squaring a Mars and Pluto opposition and is activating your 5th house of pleasure and creativity and romance, and your 11th house of community, friendship, and big dreams. So what's going on here? So that could be a romantic partner from the 5th house, could be clashing with your long-term goals from the 11th house, right? So there could be tension between what you want to create, what you want to build in a more entrepreneurial way, and what your community expects from you. Or you could find that your role in a friend group or an organization or a group that you are belonging to is pulling you away or taking time from something you enjoy or taking time from your passion. Or if you have kids, it could be the struggle between your organization, your friends, taking time away from your kids, and your kids are trying to demand more attention. So Mars is in your 5th house. It's a very creative, it's a very expressive zone. And you want this freedom, you want this fun, you want space to shine. But Pluto is also pushing you to examine these power dynamics that exist within your networks, in your groups, in your long-term visions and your goals. So the question is here, Aries, it's like, where do you need to take back your control so that you can more fully step into your self-worth? So this new moon truly is here to remind you, Aries, that this is your time and that your energy and your talents are valuable, okay? Not necessarily in this like loud external way, but in a way that feels grounded and sensual and self-assured. Your money is shifting. There's new beginnings here. Your self-worth is expanding, and your next chapter, it's really going to begin when you start believing that you deserve more. So good luck, Aries. Secure that bag, honor your energy, and claim this soft power that you have been working really hard behind the scenes to earn. And y'all, that puts a wrap on my new moon in Taurus predictions for everyone. I do have readings opening, so again, check the link in my bio. Visit me on astrologyforbabes.com, where we chat about all sorts of fun things, and I hope to see you all again very soon.